Hello folks, this is Leah Bonasaki from the Master Lab Systems. Today we'll be looking at the basics of Spring Boot, how we can create our own APIs, REST APIs, and doing a lot of functions with Spring Boot. So first and foremost folks, welcome to the Master Lab Tutorials. Introduction. So what is Spring Boot and how is it useful for us? So today in this section we'll be learning how to create a simple RESTful API endpoint using Spring Boot, understand the basics of HTTP methods, and do a hands-on coding practical session. What is REST? So as you might be hearing me on my other previous tutorials mentioning REST or this one. Basically, what is REST? So REST is a representation state transfer. Well, it's basically an architectural style of writing APIs. Well, this style, it uses methods called HTTP methods such as a get to get a resource, a post to post a resource, or to create a resource from the server, or a put to update a resource, or a delete to delete a resource. So these are all the HTTP methods this architectural style uses. So each request is stateless, meaning it's independent. And how this style communicates in the client and the server, they use HTML, they use JSON, structure, or XML format. So why use Spring Boot for REST APIs? Well, pretty much Spring Boot, it simplifies API development as it provides a lot of the built-in features, and also most of the configuration has already been done for you. So it provides a built-in support for XML and JSON serialization, meaning for conversion. Also, it is easy to integrate with the Spring ecosystem, and also it provides an embedded Tomcat server to expose your web application or save your HTML templates. So today, let's set up a project, folks. So we'll use Spring Initializer to spin up a basic Spring Boot project, and then we'll import it to an IDE, which is in my case I'm using IntelliJ for the IDE. Okay, so for example, this is the basic API that we'll be using to create. So we'll be creating, yeah. So for example, let's just give you an example of what's happening here. So the first structure, the first bullet point called the REST controller, while we are defining the REST API controller, as it is what Spring Boot knows to expose a web application, which is the request mapping. It's providing more like a path or a base path for all the endpoints, and then they will just extend to that request mapping base, which is now looking at the get mapping, the hello get mapping. So what that means, it means we are giving this route as what we are getting. So we are getting that hello from that route. So as it says, it maps get request to hello. Yes, so meaning here we are getting an object from the server or from the application. We are not posting or deleting, so we are getting. So we use get to get an object or a resource from the application. Okay, so let's immediately go to our browser and spin up the basic project. So if you go to your browser, you can just type Spring Initializer. So it will pop up this here, and then from there you can simply attempt to create it, meaning here. So what we normally do, so the language, it's fine, leave it on Java, and then the project, which is the build tool, normally would like to give it Maven, as Maven, it is pretty much easy to use and it is quite robust. Okay, so the rest, which is what we need to add here now. So let's give it a group. Okay, so the version, it's fine, I will leave it to 3.5.2. so group, okay, for now it's com.masterlab, and then from here, so here, okay, group, so just give it org, and then artifact dot master lab, and then from here the project, which is SpringBoot REST API. Description demo. Okay, that's fine for now. I'll leave it like that. Okay, so the packaging, it's fine. Give it to here, and also a YAR file, not a WAR, just a YAR file. In Java 11 version 17, that's gonna be fine. Okay, for now, let's add some few dependencies. Okay, so the first one that we need, it's the web, since we're building a web application. So Spring Web, which contains the Tomcat, and then the second one that we'll need, let's add some dev tools for debugging. SpringBoot dev tools. This is what we need, the dev tools too. Okay, so folks, this is sufficient enough for us to get started with our project. Okay, so from here, what you just need to do is just to generate. This will auto-generate you a project, and then you can just import it to ID. Okay, folks, as you can see, my project has already been generated. So what I will just do now, I'm just going to import it to my IDE. Okay, importing it, folks. I have already done this process, so I've already imported it. So for now, let's look at what it normally comes with when we've done the import. Okay, so for now, the controller file, it was in there. We'll start working. Well, I'll explain it in a minute. So this is what the dummy project gives you when we have imported. Well, you have the basic structure here, which is the out file, which is the target. Normally, once you are doing a build, it creates those targeted files, compiled files, or compiled classes. So what we have normally here, it's the source. So which is, we got the main Java resources, and then the test, which is, this is what the test folder contains. So meaning all our test cases will be here from this package. Let's look at this one. So this one, it's what will contain our source codes, our source files for all the classes will be here. So, and then this one we got here, which is the resources file. So normally here it's the configuration and some static files such as HTML or JavaScript or CSS, and those if you are saving an application. Well, if you are using SpringBoot to save your whole REST, and you are also using this basic backend project to save your HTML templates. So what we have there now, so which is, if I open this file, so this is a basic dummy. So normally this is what SpringBoot comes, and then this is our POM file, well, which is normally what, since this is a Maven project, it gives us, it creates this thing called POM file that contains all the dependencies we imported. As you can see, these are all the dependencies we've added, which we're using 2 dependencies only, which is DevTools and SATA Spring Web. Okay, so meaning for now, if we run this project, folks, it should compile fine. I will write in a minute. Okay, so for now, let's look at this one. So this is the basic API that I've created already. I will define in a minute. So normally, if you have a project, a structure or a basic SpringBoot project, what you would have to do for the first of things, you would normally like to create, meaning to structure your files properly. So if we create a package called controller, which will contain all our files, all our controller files, which is all our web routes. So, and then create a second package. I normally like to do this in all of my projects. Create a model. So normally a model will contain all our DTO or data structure files, such as defining models for database file, for database as well. So we'll create a model, and also lastly a service package. Normally a service, it's what contains all the logic for the application. The logic normally contains like all the manipulation of data, interaction, normally lies on the service. So controller, let's put the controller in there so we can specify this is for web. So for web, let's look at this controller now, this basic controller. So what this have, it's a basic controller. It only have two endpoints. So the first endpoint, let's look at this first. As I've explained already what is REST controller means and REST request mapping is as well. So meaning what this does, let's look at the first one. So if, of course, I hash this one, I comment out. So what we are having now, it's only this basic controller that returns the welcome to Spring Boot REST API. So what this means, actually, if I try to explain it in the basic terms, so we have this project, of course, that does this, which is if we add this annotation, it creates it calls this import. And also same thing if we add the request mapping. So what means this is going to be version 1 and also an API. So now if you are to consume with this API, which is this REST endpoint, so you would have to use v1 API / home / and home, and then this is what you're going to be returning. So if I run it now, folks, in a second, let me just start it up for you. So if I run it now for you, okay, so let's look at it. This is how normally it starts. So if we run it, so how we consume it, it should be a local host. Okay, folks, it is already started. As you can see, Tomcat is started on port 8080, so the application is live on port 8080. So if we go to Postman or any HTTP or even on the browser, for example, let me just take it to the browser. So if we look at it now, we try to do again this. So let's do HTTP localhost 8080 v1 API. Wow, boom, there it is, folks. As you can see, welcome to Spring Boot REST API. That's our response. Okay, folks, that works fine. So let's look at the second one now, which is also the basic endpoint. So if now I hash, let me not even hash it. If now I try to unhash this one, meaning to uncomment, we'll be using this one now. So what this basic as well, what this does as well, so what I have here, I have a map of a string and a string, meaning a key value pair of a string and a string. So I'm expecting a string, and also the second value should be, I'm expecting a key which is in the format of a string, and also a value which is in the format of a string. So meaning I am getting this map and I need to return it in a JSON object. So I'm using a JSON serializer. So now let's try to run the second one. So what it means, so from this endpoint JSON, this is what it needs to return. This message is the key and this value for that message. So if now, for example, we run this one, so this should give us now something more like a key value pair format. So let's run it in JSON. This is it. So if I press send, oh my bad. So localhost 8080 API JSON. Let's look at that. Okay, so get mapping JSON. Let's go and run it again. So localhost : 8080 API JSON. Okay, let me start up. Okay, as I was saying, folks, so we have this endpoint that says gets this JSON, which is the parameter that how you pass a JSON, and then which gives you a string, a map of a string, and also a value of that key. So which should give you something like, when you return it, which should gives you a message, which is the key and this value. So let's run this one, folks, and see the response. So if I hit localhost port 8080 v1 API JSON, let's run it. As you can see, it returns the message and also the value for that key. Well, folks, thank you so much. I'll have to end here for today. Let's hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe on my channel, and also if you have any comments or questions, please post them on the comment section below. I will be answering those. Thank you so much, folks. Peace out.